Hey everybody, nice to meet you. I'm Julia Leibowitz and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Cabinet. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I know there's a lot of amazing speakers and really thoughtful and smart people in the executive assistant, personal assistant space. So thanks for joining in and listening to me talk today. Really honored. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a overview of Cabinet today. I want to show you a demo of our scheduling platform because this is ES Tech and Cabinet is a technology for executive assistants to help automate and streamline a lot of the especially scheduling work that you're doing on a daily basis to save you 2 hours at least a week, if not a day, depending on how much scheduling you're doing, while keeping the human touch. So I will explain what all of that means for you in just a few minutes. But before we do that, I'll explain my background a little bit and share some background on Cabinet. So I am an executive assistant, or I was an executive assistant. I started my career. I worked for 4 years in the venture capital industry. And I wore all the same hats that many of you wear today. I did scheduling, travel, events, office management. And I found that scheduling took up a large amount of my day. And it also kept me from really being the executive assistant that I wanted to be, which was more strategic and support my executive in ways that I could tell were bigger items on their plate. Now, I did like scheduling. I'm a very organized and detail-oriented person. But the person I was working with, who was, close to retiring, she was an amazing executive assistant, she still is actually, had been for many, many years and taught me a lot of what I'm doing. I just thought that I would love to see this industry and I'd love to see the technology that the EAs have catch up to speed to what, all of our colleagues are using on a daily basis. I kept thinking, like, how is there not a better way to do this? How has this not changed in 20 years since Microsoft and since Google came to the scene? But I know firsthand that you cannot replace Microsoft and Google right now. I mean, those are the office softwares. And so one of the things with Cabinet that you'll quickly see is that we do not replace scheduling, but are there to support you in whatever platforms you're using. So I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see a little bit more about why we decided to dig in and solve this problem. Alrighty, so Cabinet is unlocking massive corporate value through tailored EA and admin efficiency. So this is really a product that enterprises and businesses are buying on behalf of their executive assistants because it makes you all so much more efficient so that you can take on more responsibilities or new executives. One of the things we learned was that, not just me, but every admin out there is doing scheduling and calendar management, or as many of you guys say, diary management. We spend on average, and this is done through a survey that we conducted, that admins spend about 1,000 hours every year scheduling meetings. 1,000 hours. So with Cabinet, what we have built helps admins reduce that down and save at least 270 hours a year through our platform. So high level, what are some of the things that Cabinet does? Cabinet supports with individual scheduling. So you get an email from your executive that says, hey, looping in my EA, Julia, she'll help us find some time. When you respond to that email, it gives you several ways that you can do that from the spectrum of less automated, so really, really, really feels like it's human, but was automated on the back end, to more of this kind of link experience that some of you guys are familiar with if you've ever used Calendly. So we give you the spectrum, but the whole idea is you get to choose, depending on who you're scheduling, how you want to schedule that meeting. Then for, God forbid, all those big group meetings, we are going to provide a platform that has group scheduling as an option within the platform, so you don't have to go to a separate tool to do that. And it gives you all of the kind of bells and whistles that EAs and admins are looking for when they are trying to schedule a meeting with lots of people. And not everyone's calendars are up to date, or, you're dealing with internal and external parties. So you need to kind of be cognizant of, you can't see their calendars. So we have a group scheduling offer, which makes that, takes it down from scheduling meetings in weeks to scheduling meetings in just a few hours or a couple days. So then moving down to the bottom left quadrant is meeting tracking. So this is like really cutting edge. There's nothing out there like this. It's a way for you to manage all those meetings you're scheduling. So a lot of EAs, when we were starting to build Cabinet, were showing us their Excel spreadsheets where they keep track of the times they've offered, or their notepad. I mean, in the simplest form, Cabinet really replaces, your note, sticky note, your notepad, where you're typing, you're writing down with, your good old fashioned pen, all the meetings that you're trying to schedule, all the times you're offering, just so that you don't let anything fall through the cracks. And then finally, on the very right, this is where we start to play into a more strategic EA role. So now that we've saved you all this time with scheduling, we have calendar analytics in seconds for you. So this is going to help you analyze your executive's time. So I will cover that as well in the demo. Very excited. Ultimately, this is all helping you, type less, do time zone conversions less, get things wrong less, just make fewer mistakes, land meetings faster, and support your executive more strategically by having better insights into how they're spending their time. So Cabinet is not replacing the EA role, but really helping assistants accomplish more in their day. So let me move on to kind of what you can do with this additional time. So this list is a very simple list, and this is what we've heard from most of our customers, like how they're spending their additional time. But there is so much more here, and it depends on each individual EA. But it starts by saying, you can support more executives. Now, if you are a person that likes scheduling a lot, and that's like your bread and butter, great. You can now support another executive with that extra time, and you'll still be in scheduling, calendar management, diary management land. You'll just get to do it more, and it's actually a lot more fun with Cabinet than the way you're doing it currently. If you're somebody who's actually not really as much interested in the calendar management space and wants to kind of work more on like events or work more on helping your executive prepare presentations, so starting to kind of think more strategic projects, it's going to give you back that time in your day and make you feel more peace of mind when you're, that scheduling is kind of all taken care of, or at least where all the balls are in the air, so that you can really focus on taking on those other strategic projects. If you're somebody who likes to kind of mentor and train and build that community, we're all about admin community at Cabinet, and we we wish there was more sense of community and less sense of isolation in this role. But the reality is it's still got a lot of work to do, and organizations like Lucy's here, we're all kind of working together to create more community. But internally at your own company, you can be doing that with that additional time. You can be working on facilitating more community, more sense of camaraderie with your EAs. And then lastly, of course, a little plug, you can run a calendar audit within Cabinet. So even though Cabinet's calendar audits take seconds, you'll still have a little bit extra time in your week or in your month to pull a report, to have that conversation with your executive, and to start thinking more strategically when it comes to their calendar. Because again, these are just ideas, but these are some of the ways that when polling our customers, how they are building more time in their day. And we hope that, if you become a Cabinet customer after this, at some point in the future, we hope that you'll let us know how you spent your new time. I want to tackle a couple common questions before we get into the demo. So how long does Cabinet take to learn? Well, you'll see today it's very user-friendly and intuitive. It only takes an hour onboarding call, which we will provide to everybody, regardless of if you're enterprise tier or if you're a single, self-service sign up. Does your executive need to use Cabinet? No, never. EA speaking here, I know that that is sometimes like, pulling teeth. So don't worry, this is not for your executive. They can use it, they can collaborate with you if that's what you're interested in. We can show you how to do that. But no, there's no need for them to use it. They won't even really know that you're using it unless they're the ones, approving the purchase. Which platforms are compatible? So we work with Outlook, we work with Google, we work with Zoom, and we're working on adding more integrations this year to just really more integrate into your workflow. So especially our enterprise customers, we're always kind of building new integrations for different organizations to help streamline. And then I know personally from being an EA that security is like so important, privacy, data privacy, and it's just very top of mind to most organizations today. So yes, Cabinet is SOC 2 certified, and we also integrate with, your single sign-on sources. So we work with the IT teams all the time. It just takes like a 30-minute, maybe 1 hour call to kind of work through any questions that they have, if that's part of your process. And then how many calendars can you connect? This is a very good question. So if you support multiple executives, we can accommodate as many executives you support. So there's no limit. It's all, the whole pricing is kind of built on a per EA usage, but we totally understand that the spectrum goes from like, you support 1 executive to you support, 10. So we understand that. Okay, so let's get to the fun part where I'm going to show you now how Cabinet works and how it might help you in your day get a few minutes to a couple hours back. So I'm going to pull up the demo here. Okay, dokie. So let's head over to the Cabinet dashboard. So welcome demo, welcome Julia, welcome Sarah, welcome Thomas. Welcome to your Cabinet dashboard. We live in the browser. And then, as I mentioned, this is a per EA product, meaning every EA has their own kind of dashboard, data, everything there is tailored towards you and who you support in their calendars. Now, if you are part of one of our enterprise or organization customers, we'll make sure to connect all your accounts so that, especially if there's like an admin director or an admin manager, that they can facilitate the licenses and facilitate backups and help work with, make sure EAs can collaborate when you're out of office. You always have somebody supporting your executive, rather. So we'll get into collaboration in a little bit, but yeah, this is my private dashboard, or my demo account's private dashboard, where I can see all the meetings that are in progress. These are the meetings that have not landed yet. And then these are the polls, meaning these are the group meetings that I'm waiting to hear back from. As you can see, the number of participants that have responded to my polls. And then any updates, if I cancel a meeting or if something was rescheduled. So this is just at a glance. Now let's go to the core function. So when EAs come to Cabinet, they're not coming here to see what's on their executive's calendar that day. No, they can go to their Google Calendar, Outlook calendar. If they know exactly when they're going to schedule a meeting, they don't really come to Cabinet. They're just going to go to Google Calendar, Outlook calendar and schedule the meeting. But we all know that that happens way, 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 way less than it should, right? All of us are dealing with a lot of, I wouldn't say politics, but kind of like calendar politics, where you don't feel comfortable to always just send an invite. Now, maybe it's because you need to work with the other EAs to find a time. Maybe it's somebody who's external, so you can't see their calendar. So most of the time, the work that we're doing as EAs is actually, offering times, tracking what's landed, following up with people. And then finally, when that time is confirmed, it's putting it on the calendar, but then having to reschedule, right? So it's so much of work that really sending the invite is the easy part. So let's walk through an example of when you would go to Cabinet. So I get an email from my executive, who's Jude, and he says, looping in my EA, Julia, she'll help us find some time. So let's say this person's name is Craig, and I'm going to come to Cabinet and I'm going to offer a one-off meeting. So I'm just scheduling one meeting with Craig. And I'm going to offer Craig some time for, let's do Thursday, Friday, and we'll do some of next week. So I know when I know when Jude likes meetings with Craig. I know that he'd probably want it in the morning. So I can see that this time is open. I can see that this time is open. And perhaps I know that I can, oops, let me make that the whole hour. And perhaps I know I can move this lunch. So I'm going to offer that time as well. And I'll offer this spot. Can't move the CEO for him. Okay, and then I can go into next week. And now let me point something out, because you're probably wondering now, Julia, what are these pending spots? So pending means this is actually what I'm tracking in Cabinet. This is another meeting that I'm trying to organize that hasn't landed yet. So unlike if I go to Jude's calendar over here, I will see, I won't see the pendings. Now I will see holds when I decide to put a hold on my executive's calendar. So I'll show you how to do that within Cabinet. All right, so pending, I can offer. So I'm going to offer this time. And let's say I'm going to offer the afternoon sometime. Okay, so we have that. And now the meeting is with Craig. It'll be 30 minutes. Here are all the times. And here's where I can add a hold to the calendar. But we'll just kind of skip that for now. And I'll go back and show you that. So now Cabinet is preparing the meeting. So it's going to share time. I can share, and I have the ability to share times multiple different ways. As I mentioned, there's a spectrum depending on who you're scheduling with, kind of how streamlined you want to be, because some people love getting a link. They love the link because they know that the invite will be sent right away. Some people feel like that's too impersonal, especially at the higher, the C-suite level. So let's start with like the more personal. So this is what we're all doing today. This is where we're typing out times and we're offering time blocks. Now, what's cool with Cabinet is like you can decide per meeting how you want to display that. So let's say I don't like meetings to start at the 15, every 15. I like it every 30. So we're going to start, we're going to condense this to display 10:30 to 11, 11, perfect. I love that. And now maybe I don't want to be this prescriptive. I'm just going to want to say 10:30 to 12, and the person can give me a time within there. So I'll just click condense. Okay, so now we have a nice, sweet little set of times. Now, curveball, let's say I'm in Mountain Time, but this person I'm scheduling with is in Pacific Time. So here it just popped up all the Pacific Time options. Now I can change that. So if it wasn't Pacific, but it was actually New York, or if it was London, we've got time zones all around the world. You can change that. And you can actually add as many time zones as you want. So we've got now a bunch of different ones. Okay, so let's just stick with the 2 time zones. And I'm going to go to my email and I'm going to paste that in. So hello, happy to share Jude's availability. Please see below. Now I paste this in there. Now, Craig has no idea that I used Cabinet to help me do this. I didn't stress out about it. I didn't have to go to a separate website to do the time zone conversions. It was, everything is correct. I'm not like worried here. So this really helps EAs a ton and saves them time. Now, as I mentioned, there is a more streamlined approach here. So let's go back to Cabinet. And let's say I actually want I want the invites to send right away. Like I was sending this on a Friday, I'm going out of town for a couple of days. I don't want to have to like log into my computer once Craig gets back to me and then I have to like send the invite. I just want to make sure it's like, set it and forget it. So in that case, I'm going to actually send either a booking link or these times with links, where if somebody clicks on the link, and I'll probably tell them in my email to click on the link, and it will actually send them directly to a booking page where they can confirm the time and confirm their email address, and the calendar invite will send directly. So let's just take an example. So here's the booking link here. Now I can set up all my settings. So when the calendar invite is ready to go, I have what calendar I want it to come from, mine or my executives, which if there is, I want to fill the location field, I can fill it with Zoom, Google Meet, Teams. We integrate with all those. We integrate with conference rooms. Or you can have like you can preset things like cell phone numbers, physical location. So it's all just ready to go. And then I just copy that link and I do the same thing I did over here, where I just paste what Cabinet provides into an email. So then I can send, hi, I found some dates and times at work. Below you'll find a link that provide you with them. So here, Craig clicks on the link. It takes him to a page. He doesn't have to have Cabinet. It will just automatically take him here, but it is a unique link. So this will expire once Craig uses it. And then you can have your company's logo up here in the left corner. You can add things like a description. You can add attachments. And then Craig will click on the date and time that works for him. He'll confirm and then put in his name and email, and then immediately it will go out. So that really is a set it and forget it approach that a lot of our EAs utilize when scheduling with people they think that would be appropriate. Now, there's a couple of cool things in here that help you customize and control what you're offering. So one example is prevent double booking. Prevent double booking, when this toggle is turned on, is not going to offer times that are taken. So if you recall, I selected a time on Friday, specifically between 12 and 1 Mountain Time, that is blocked. Now, if prevent double booking is turned on, if I go back to Friday, I do not see 12 and 1 available. I see 11:30 and 12, and then it jumps to 1 to 1:30. Now, if I was to correct that and I was to change it, and I say, hey, you know what? I don't care. I can move that meeting. So I'm actually going to allow that meeting to, that time slot to be booked. So now I refresh. I'm looking at, let's see here, it's Friday. I come down here. Yep, sure enough, 12 to 12:30 and 12:31 is now available. So Cabinet allows you to control things like that, whereas other scheduling tools don't give you that kind of control. Another nuance to Cabinet that makes it really helpful for particular EAs who are sending holds to the calendar. So after you've offered times, oftentimes you'll go back to the calendar and you'll put a bunch of holds on there. And then you'll forget those holds are there. It's a whole thing. So within Cabinet, you can actually automatically put these holds. So as you're going, you can select the calendar you want the holds to go on. And then once you've done that, it'll say meeting details have been updated. So I'll go back to the calendar. So it's 8:31. And now I see hold Jude Craig on the calendar. Now, if you wanted to remove that for any reason, it's as easy as deselecting that or marking the meeting as scheduled. So if we were to go back here in just a few seconds, it's going to actually, there you go, remove the holds. So very, very nice way for you to not have to kind of remember that detail. Great. So now that the meeting times have been offered, I will be able to track this whenever I come to Cabinet. I can see what is still outstanding. So pending Jude Craig. If I want to offer the same time to somebody, I can simply click duplicate this meeting, create a new title for it. So let's say Sarah. And now I've basically duplicated this so I don't have to do all the work that I just did, which is still pretty minimal, but hey, I don't have to do that. And I've got a new name, I've got a new unique link, and I'm offering basically the same times. Now I can edit this for Sarah once I've duplicated it. Of course, just come in here and kind of manipulate things or add more times. It's all fine, but you'll be able to start with that template. So let's say that I want to remove this meeting, the Jude Sarah meeting. So how do I do that? Well, one, you can delete it from here. But you can also manage all of these meetings from your meeting log. So over here on the left-hand side, there's a list of all the meetings that you are currently scheduling. So I've got Jude Craig here, and it says it's in progress. And I can manipulate the priority level so that I know, when I come back to work on Monday, I'm like, what is important? What do I need to focus on? And then I can add notes. So if internal notes that aren't going to go in the body of the invite, but they'll be for me, or if I have a backup EA, God forbid I get hit by a bus over the weekend. Like if somebody comes into my Cabinet, they'll know, what I was thinking here. So for example, I might want to say this meeting, see here, needs meeting needs catering. So I add that in there. Awesome. So, and then I've got all my kind of options here as well. Now, what happens if Craig gets back to me and says, hey, Julia, he responds to this email and he says, hey, Julia, Thursday, August 31st, 10:30 a.m. works. Well, then I'm just going to go to Google and I'm going to send the invite from here. Now, close this. Now, when he does that, how does Cabinet know that it's been booked? Well, we're not in your email, so we don't know. But next time you go to Cabinet, just simply move it from in progress to scheduled. So once I do that, if I go to my completed tab, you'll see that this meeting has been scheduled. I can set the confirmed time if I want to keep track of that. And if for some reason I need to reschedule, like it doesn't work anymore, I can always move it back to in progress and offer Craig a whole new set of times. So let's just move that back to in progress. And I'll show you. So let's say that Craig actually used the booking link. So instead of sending this email to Craig, I send this email. So in this case, what we love about the booking link is that Craig's actually going to take care of marking this from in progress to schedule. So it will automatically, anytime the booking link is used, it will move it from in progress to completed. If for some reason you needed to reopen that booking link, like he needed to reschedule, they do have the option within the booking link page, if they need to, in the calendar invite, if they need to reschedule that meeting, they can click on the link within the calendar invite that comes from, Outlook or Google. But in there will be that body of text that says, like, need to reschedule the meeting, click here. The thing is, it's only going to offer times that you have selected. So unlike some of these other scheduling tools, we don't just offer all the availability. You control the times that are being offered. So if Craig needs to reschedule, you can always add more time. So you can go back and, edit the meeting and add more times. So that can come in handy for you as well. Now, I mentioned the Calendly, so I have to at least let you guys know that if you do like the Calendly functionality, and if you do occasionally like to just send a link, and it's a link that doesn't expire, it's a kind of a recurring link that anybody can use. Now, I shouldn't use the word recurring because you might get confused. It's not a recurring meeting you're setting up, but it's a reusable link. That's actually the terminology we use. So reusable meetings can be used by multiple people to book multiple meetings. And you don't have to create a unique link every time. So if I go to my reusable database, I have a bunch of different reusable meeting links. So you can see different types of meetings that so maybe Jude and Sam like to be on a meeting. So this is a link that will send an invite to both them, because you can do this for not just one executive, but you can do it for multiple executives that have to be in the same meeting. And then you can see how many times and who has booked that meeting. So if you click on the little arrow, it will show you that Jude Morris and Evan, that was scheduled August 11th. So move that back up. But yes, this is a link that is shareable with multiple people. So I'll just share that in an email, and the person will click on it, select their day and time that they want, and then put in their name. So I would put in Julia Leibowitz. And as I'm filling it out, it's actually creating the calendar invite title. So that is all personalized on the calendar, so you don't have to do anything else. So I click book, and this meeting is good to go. So I'll just click book, and you'll see how so now I've got a calendar. Hurrah! It will be on the calendar for Jude. And as the EA, you get an email saying, hey, this meeting has been booked. So you can keep track of that. Now that happens for any of the links that you send through Cabinet. Awesome. Okay, so lastly, I want to walk through, over the scheduling, I want to walk through the poll results for you. So this is where all of the polls that I've created are organized. Now, a poll is something you'd send to multiple people for one meeting. Okay, so if I click create meeting poll, I just select the times that I want people to vote on. So I could say, this slot and this slot, and I'm just creating this poll the same way that you kind of created this one-off meeting. But the cool thing is I'm doing it from my executive's calendar. So I could actually have, if both my executives need to be in this meeting, I can have both of them in here, and it will find whatever common times are available. I'll be able to see those because those will be in white. So I'm just selecting times. I create a poll name. Now I'm going to go to one that's already created. So here is the list of all the polls that are outstanding right now. So I'll just click on this project budget review. I've already got 5 responses, but it looks like I'm waiting for 8. So I can see here who are the people that have responded and what time works for them. So it looks like these 2 times work the best so far. So what does it look like from the recipient's perspective? So it's the same thing where you send a link, but this time multiple people can vote on the time that works for them. So it looks like me, or my former name, Julia Hawkins, I got married, so now it's Leibowitz, but we're waiting for me to respond. So I come in here. Okay, I can see people's responses, and now I click what works for me. If I double click, it'll actually be potentially available. I might do that if I'm like, well, this time's working for a lot of people. I'm potentially available if you guys want to use that one. Can you attend the entire meeting? Yes. Woohoo. And then, of course, again, as the EA, you get an email saying new votes on this poll. And then you can come back into Cabinet and manage it. Now, you can send this poll several ways. You can send it by pre-filling the names of all the attendees, or you can just let people put in their name and email address. And so there's a couple different ways. There's a lot of customizations, as you guys are seeing here for EAs. All right, so don't need to spend too much time here. I want to quickly cover reporting. So this is the analytics function of Cabinet, where we're offering EAs a way to be more strategic in how they support their executives. So here is a quick report I'm going to run for Jude, my executive, for the last 3 months and where he's been spending his time. So I can see the last 3 months broken down by category. So these are all my specific categories for my executive. And I can say to him, Jude, it looks like you've been spending 2 hours every day for the last few months, roughly, in onboarding calls. Now, that doesn't seem like the best use of your time. And I can show this to Jude, and it can spark a conversation with him, and I can help him spend his time more wisely. I can also show it, not on the daily breakdown, but just overall. Here is the percentage of time for the last 3 months. So if we take out the things that aren't categorized, a lot of time with investors, a lot of time with the marketing team and sales team, but not much with engineering, and not much, on partnerships. So those are ways that you can see this data much faster than if you would have to pull a report directly from your calendar provider. So how does it all work? Well, in the reconciliation tab, Cabinet quickly pulls or tries to gather all that data from the calendar directly and display it to EAs in a way that they can quickly tag the events. So if I look here and I see lunch break, I might want to categorize that as personal time. And if it's a recurring event, it's going to update. I can either update just this event or update the series. If I update the series, it's going to make sure that anytime there's a lunch break meeting, it's going to always auto tag. So category is a common one here. We also have type. This is kind of like open-ended. You can use this however you want. I have, one-on-ones, customer calls, technical, strategic. So it's just like another type of categorization. It's really free form for you. And then we'll automatically pull in things like recurring versus one-time meetings, the location. So if you wanted to break down that data through, like, for example, recurring versus one-off meetings, down here in this option, you can do that. So one more thing I want to mention, if you are a color coder and you are already color coding your calendar, we also in your settings will enable you to automatically pull in those colors to match with whatever categories or types within Cabinet that you would like. So that's all done in your settings. So that will make it even faster for you. Now, let's cover one area that is not scheduling related, but is something that we're branching out in to help EAs be more collaborative and kind of have a more of a one-stop shop. So under your team section, you can find all of your executives and almost like little profile pages for them that are completely internal. Everything is encrypted, so everything is secure in here. But you can put things like, loyalty numbers and, preferences for when they're flying, username information, just all types of things, or actually give you a kind of an unlimited list. You can just pick your icon and sort of create whatever type of category you want. And it's really just displayed for you a lot nicer. I know that when I was in EA, I had an Excel spreadsheet, and I think I also had a one word or Microsoft Word doc at one point that which is very hard to find information, hard to copy and paste it. So from here, I can just quickly grab that loyalty number, click this little copy button here, and then paste it into my, travel site. So a lot easier. And for each person that you support, you can share this profile securely, way more secure than any system that I've ever seen enterprise use. And the reason is because first of all, you can only share with people that are designated cabinet users for your company. And then you can choose how long they have access. So what happens is we always forget to revoke access for that SharePoint or that OneNote. So you can actually just put in the dates you want. You're going to be gone, and I need to share it with her for a week. And then you can choose what they can actually see. So maybe they don't need to see the health information. Maybe they have scheduling access. If you actually click the scheduling, they'll be able to do all the scheduling and see the meeting log, so that you guys can kind of be on one page when you get back from vacation. You know what she did. She knows what you did before you left. It just makes it so much more seamless, and really enables collaboration for true, really effective collaboration for the first time amongst EAs and admins. So this is a feature, this collaboration feature is available to our enterprise or, our teams accounts, and it's something that we would help you set up. So if you go to your account, you can kind of see what account you have, what level setting. So if you have a team account, this is where you would manage all of your individual accounts and licenses and your logo. As I mentioned, here's where your analytics lie. So all the tagging that you might want to auto assign. Here are all the categories that you've created for your executives. And here are some of the things like pre-filling locations for those scheduling links. If you use the links, here's where you can kind of set up those. And then of course, manage your subscription. And we've got ways that you can manage your integrations like Zoom. In order to view the calendars, all you need to do is log in through Outlook or through Google, and make sure that you're, you can see all the calendars on, within the scheduling page. So if I come over to scheduling, I want to make sure, first thing that we ask all of our EAs to do is just to verify that they can see all the data from the calendar. So they would just compare it with, their Google Calendar or whatever. You can also see, so more than just your executives' calendars, if you need to occasionally pull in another, colleague or direct report, you can also click on those here and pull those up for more one-time usage. So I have covered kind of a lot in about 40 minutes. So I'm sure there's a lot of questions. I'm sure there's even concerns and hesitations. You guys are all in a position where you're supporting very, the upper tier of organizations, like the executives, the VPs, the directors. And so we know that there are a lot of questions and concerns that you might have. And that's why when we work with a new client, we're always very hands-on and white glove, and to help you understand exactly how the product works and how much control you have and how much security and privacy goes along with the cabinet platform. One other thing I'm going to mention in my last minute or two, you all are in a position where there hasn't been much software. So you haven't had to go through the process of buying software typically for yourself. And we know that can be kind of daunting. So we try our best to spell that out for you and to help support you so that you can make, in your internal conversations, you can get Cabinet approved. Now, Cabinet is very, very cheap for all the time saving. And we work really hard to make it affordable for you guys, especially for how much you're getting out of it. It's incredible. So the ROI of Cabinet is something that will help you articulate. So we'll walk through, we don't have time today, but on another call, if your organization is interested in maybe testing out Cabinet, where we always walk you through an ROI calculator, which will help you see literally how much time is being saved for every person that's using Cabinet, how much time a day, a month, and then a year, how much that equates to free time and what you can do with that free time and how that can save the company money, how that can help the company maybe enable more people to have executive assistants or executive assistants to be able to do more with their time. So it's a really cool process. I'd happily walk you through that on a separate call. So how do you use Cabinet? How do you get started? Well, first of all, you go to our website, sign up for a demo with one of our team members. So our website's joincabinet.com. Go to our website, sign up for a trial or sign up for a demo with us. If you're just one individual kind of working solo, you're the only EA there, you can always just sign up also on our website for a free trial. Here, I'll just go to the website for you here. So you can sign up for a free trial, but we know a lot of our kind of teams, a lot of EAs that work at larger enterprises, they might need to follow more of a process. So sign up on our website for a demo. I believe you can get to it down here. Yep, book a demo. And yeah, come and learn more, talk to me, talk to our team, ask any of your questions. We'd love to help you get set up and really help you start saving time and start benefiting from Cabinet as soon as possible. Well, thank you so much. Thank you to the whole ES Tech team. Been great to be able to share this time with you, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.